When will I see you again? When will my heart breathe again? When will I see you? Oh, my bad. Hey, it's me, Michelle Wright, with 99 Ways to Win. So I know it's been a long, long time since we had a podcast upload. But guess what? We are back. So in case you need a refresher, the last conversation podcast was Keep It in Your Pants Part 1. Falon and I began our reaction to an IG video from I Am Rashad about falling off the abstinence wagon. Well, get ready, because in part 2, Falon really opens up about her challenges in these dating streets, and we have a candid, humorous discussion about sexual purity and temptation when dating, as well as break down how this relates to our relationship with Jesus. So let's get started.
Well, he didn't say anything about the lying to himself, but he was saying like, well, wait, I don't have any business like laying up with her no way, or like being close to her, like being in the situation that I was in that stirs up all that stuff to lead to that.
The intimacy. He was talking about intimacy.
Yeah. Well, like when he was saying the thing he said about it, he said when he was asking her, well, hey, do you want to come over and just sit over here while I'm playing a video game, was his desire for intimacy. But then the other part was he was saying like as far as like laying up, well, maybe they were laying up in the bed while he was playing a video game. I don't know, but just like being all laid up with somebody. You ain't supposed to be doing that when you dating, like y'all ain't married, right? It is like, oh well, it's like, yeah, you don't try to see how close you can get to the fire without getting burned. I did that.
Us as
like
Christians
you gonna get burned.
How close can we get to sin without sinning?
And okay, so and the thing is, so if you look at, Jesus said, if a man looks at a woman to lust after her, he has committed adultery in his heart. That don't involve no touching. That don't involve no talking. And he didn't say looking at a woman. He didn't say looking at a woman and finding her attractive. He said looking at a woman and lusting after her. Lust is a whole different, that's, you know what I'm saying? So, but I bring that up to say that when we have this worldly mindset where we look at it, oh, well, if we actually have sexual intercourse, we sin. But it's like, you sin way before that. If y'all rubbing all on each other, or if you just are like all up on each other, but you getting, you get to stir all that stuff up inside, even though you don't do nothing, you riled all that stuff. Okay, so that's lust. So every time that I went out on a date and we ain't quote unquote do nothing, but we did something. You know what I mean? So like God was like, okay. And
one ball at a time. One ball at a time, man. Look.
What you say?
Look, one thing at a time, man. Because listen, that's real discouraging.
I'm not saying like, you can't hold hands or you can't hug, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's real discouraging.
Well,
you don't want to kiss
boundaries.
You don't want to kiss. You're gonna want to.
I don't think it's a sin to kiss. I don't think it's a sin to kiss and hug. I'm not saying that. It's one thing to kiss and hug. Is another thing to make out.
That's what I'm talking about when I say kiss. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just okay.
I'm not gonna peck you.
Give me a kiss.
I'm not gonna peck you. No. I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, I ain't got nothing to do with
that. Making out.
Okay. Well, you may be one of them people that can't kiss at all. I don't know.
I can't.
You don't have levels of kissing, like, you can just kiss, like, okay, baby.
If I even get close enough to you to want to kiss you, I'm already lusting.
Is that you ain't got no in between? It's like park and turbo.
I either like you or I don't, and I'm either thinking about you in that way or I'm not. Like,
that's funny. Hey, but everybody got to know themselves, right?
I know myself.
And then we have to be careful to not put our restrictions or tendencies on somebody else. Like, for you to look at somebody, like, say, I mean, ain't no one's got nobody right now, and I can't legally date yet. But if I go out with somebody and like, we're like, oh, well, Michelle, why you holding you kiss him? You can kiss him. Yeah. Yeah, we just kiss like a kiss and then that's it. Oh, you can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? You getting all like, well, you can't be doing that because you're gonna be
No, I don't
no.
no, I don't judge.
Yeah,
You gonna do
but
what you
that's
gonna do.
sometimes we can and sometimes we can do that. We don't mean any harm, but we just assume, well, okay, because this makes me feel this way, and this is what I need, or this is what I think is right, then everybody, like, you don't know that. Not
It's
necessarily,
projecting. It's
now,
project.
but I think that we should, like you said, accountability, we've had conversations about different things. It's like, well, hey, sis, do you think so and so, so and so? And, and you should have somebody that can ask you, hey, you think that's a little bit too much? Do you think that's wise? Do you think, and you be okay with them asking? And I have people like you and a couple other people that, that will ask me about things that I'm trying to make sure that I don't do. Keep my mind off of certain things. You got to have that. But at the end of the day, you can't say, like, I mean, some stuff is obvious if you see them over there just going at it. Then
If you look in the comment section, there was you were talking about lust. There was a person in there that commented on his in there, and it talks about the difference between the transgression, which is the actual physical sin,
mm-hmm.
and what is it? Forgive us our trespasses, and what is the other? There's another type of sin that's internal.
I don't know. I guess I may have heard it, but you said forgive us our trespasses, and I'm thinking about the Lord's Prayer, so I don't know. Forgive us our
transgression.
Oh,
transgressions and transgressions.
Interesting.
And
I have not heard
there's
that.
a difference in them or something like that. And one is external and one is internal. So the lusting, and we're not saying lust as, oh, he's cute.
Yeah, that's not lust. Yeah.
That's not lust. Lust is more like, I wonder, here we are.
Right.
And you done already stripped this person of their clothing in your brain type thing.
Right. Imagining
and
them touching you and you touching them. And
yeah, there we are lusting, And so that's what I'm saying. If I can kiss you, that I've already passed that because I've already thought about it. But the other thing that I was tripping on was in the video on the comment section. While he was talking, he was saying, "That's not my wife. I shouldn't be doing that," and all this stuff. And then some people in the comment section were saying that well, she shouldn't have let him compromise his beliefs. And it's like, what?
Shouldn't have let him?
You're holding her accountable for his sin.
Yeah, he didn't say that she coerced him, made him try to put a guilt trip on him or anything. So what are you talking about?
It's like they're holding it like, okay, so since we see him and he's this person that's following Christ and trying to do the right thing, right? So we put him at a certain level,
yeah,
like,
we put him up here,
we
like,
love him. And then when you met a Jezebel and she took it from you, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like that's what they feel like in the conversation. And it was like, y'all really ripping this woman apart. But I'm gonna tell you something. And then they were even saying that she's not wife material if she allowed this, and stuff like that.
Okay,
and so
then doesn't that mean that he's not husband material because
that's
he
what
did
somebody
it?
said. That's what somebody said.
How you gonna have a standard for her? And then hello? Wow.
They both not husband and wife. If that's what it was, like that's not even the standard. Like,
wow,
they're human. Like he said, they are human.
People
He's
mess
human.
Up.
He's human.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask him. I wanted to put in the chat, are you still dating the young lady? Because what would destroy her more than because he went this 111 days. I'm assuming that that's the girl he's been talking to for 111 days.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm assuming he'd been dating her, so it's like they just slipped up.
she held off too. So how terrible would it be for him to break up with her because this ain't a healthy relationship because I was able to slip up and she slipped up too. Like,
Did he say something that gave you an indication that he broke up with her?
Well, he said history.
Well, but then, okay. But
he said if y'all
we don't know
all
okay, but then we don't know all the details. So even though if he was dating her and, for the 111 days and stuff like that, we done been through that too. If you have to evaluate, and should I be in a relationship, it's possible that he should not be in a relationship with her for various reasons. So we don't know.
I mean, I ain't saying I know. I'm wondering.
Well, you're saying like, okay, that could be devastating for her because
it could be.
Well, I mean, it could. Well, hopefully he would do it in such a way that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh, well, because we slept together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't be because we slept together.
Now she has a notch on her belt.
But he shouldn't stay with her just to keep her from feeling devastated if he realizes that he really should not be with her.
And why did that change after y'all sleep together? You see what I'm saying?
Well, now it seems like you're getting at like, making something an excuse. I'm not talking about if he's trying to make an excuse or trying to get himself out of trying to deal properly with temptation. I'm saying, I know, okay, for me personally, when I was dating somebody and I saw where stuff was going and I compromised what I said that I was not going to do, I should have broke it off then. But I didn't. So I wouldn't have been wrong for breaking it off. I would have been right for breaking it off. I should have broke it off before it got to that point, but I didn't.
Why? Why should you break it off before it got to that point?
Because I saw that he wasn't trying to follow God. He didn't respect what I was trying to do to live for God, and I was just gonna try to make it work anyway.
So, but he is, well, this is what he portrays on his page, is that he's following God, correct?
No, I know that. I'm just saying, I'm talking about my personal experience as far as like, okay, well, so now when you mess up, now you're gonna break up with her. That ain't cool. And I'm like, well, not necessarily. Like, I don't know all the details. So I'm not gonna say that.
I don't know that it ain't cool. You don't sleep with somebody and break up with sorry. I'm sensitive about that. Because it's just, what I'm saying is he seems like a pretty good guy. Mm-hmm. Seems like he's trying to do the right thing. He's gotten to know this woman long enough for 111 days. How many months is that?
That's about 3 months.
Oh, cute. So for 3 months, he's got first of all, that's 3 months. You're talking to this girl, you trust her at your home to come over and just watch you play video games.
That don't really mean nothing.
It's just what doesn't mean anything.
I mean, to me it don't, because apparently people just go over people's houses now. I don't want a guy over my house like that, but apparently people do that. So
he trusts her.
I wouldn't feel special.
Bring him to his house. For somebody to know where you live at.
As a man, they don't care. Now, as a woman, yeah, but as a man, what they care if a woman know where they live at?
I know a lot of men who care.
Oh, okay.
Women are crazy. They will come right by your house if you don't answer the phone. What do you mean?
Okay,
that's a messy.
I went around drama like that. I went around drama like this.
Then you can't say nothing. I'd have been.
Excuse me. I can't.
You can't say nothing.
I can't say what I think.
You ain't been around what's been going on out here. As far as
say what I think,
drama and all
everybody
this. You don't even watch drama shows.
No, I sure don't.
You ain't seen them girls run around here with knives, popping tires and stuff because they know where he stays. Trust me, these men don't want women that they not finna fool with knowing where they stay. This is their layer. Why would you, if you don't plan on being with somebody? I think he was planning on staying with her.
Well, we don't know that he broke up with her. Stop. You don't know that he broke up with her.
Well, at the beginning, I said, I wonder. So I never said I knew.
Okay.
Never said I knew.
All right.
I said,
You
I
seem
wonder
to be
if he
talking
broke
like
up.
you think he did.
I mean, it's called, I'm throwing out little scenarios here.
Hypotheticals.
Yeah. So like for me, it was like, I wonder if he broke up with her after this. Because if he did, that could devastate her. Because she sat up here for 111 days and maybe even longer than that before she met him. But since he portrays himself as this person that's trying to be a godly man, you can get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can really get caught up in that. What is her self-worth? She's going to think, because if it was me and I was abstaining, and then I slip up with this guy who I believe is a godly man, a great husband material, right? That is going to love me like Christ loved. Because if you watch some of his other videos, like whoever his wife is, whatever he says, I hope that's what he do. Because it sounds good. I can't sit up, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so her doing the right thing and abstaining, and then abstaining with him for 111 days to slip up and sleep with him, which slip up is you is lying to yourself, telling yourself that you wasn't gonna do it. I'm sure she shaved up, prepped up, and everything before she came over there.
Stop! You need to stop.
I would bet money on that she knew. Let me get Kurt first. Before I go over
there. She might have had on some holy drawers.
I never say I know. Stop telling me that we don't know, because I always say I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not speaking indefinite. I'm just saying.
I know. I guess I don't like doing hypotheticals on people like that.
Then we can't do reaction videos because everything is hypothetical because we don't know anybody. What? We don't know anybody.
No, we don't.
Nothing.
We don't. Go ahead.
These are all hypotheticals. Even what he talking about is hypothetical. He even made up the story just to get more.
Oh my goodness, I ain't going that far.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, we don't know these people. So, and when they put themselves on public stuff, just like we did just now, we're doing, putting our stuff on public,
right?
People can react to this and they can say, well, she probably saying that, they can do that because it's fair game, because we put something out there. We put a face and a voice out there. So when you put a face and a voice out there, sir, I believe she shaved up and cleaned up before she came over there. I don't think she wanted to do it. She may not have wanted to do it, but she pranced on over there. Both of them do. Like, you can't tell me that both
said pranced on over there. Girl, now you're talking like Big Mama now. She pranced
on over there, laid up in that bed, watching him shoot him up, bang, bang. That's what I call it.
They was on the couch in the den. They weren't on the bed because the bed would have been too obvious. If we gonna do hypotheticals, that's my hypothetical. They was on the couch. They were on the couch.
All I'm saying is they did that. And she's like, man, I messed up. Because I believe she was probably like, I messed up. Because for one, I've shown him that I'm willing to compromise. Ouch. I've shown him that I'm not strong enough. He may have lost respect for me. I've lost respect for myself. I let Jesus down. It's so heavy for her. And if they stay together, then they can both work on it and pray about it every time they feel, if they're both godly sorry, they can both stay together and work on this. And they can really make sure that it's not just the sex that got in their way.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Perfect sense. I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah. So it's just sad that if he does say, oh, look, man, we did this and I must not be ready mentally. What can she say? No. I promise it won't happen again.
No.
Can't say that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it could probably do some damage. I could just imagine the hurt of that, you know.
All right. So since you're going there with it, how do we not let if that happens, or if that happens, and it's sure it has happened to somebody, how do you not let that just totally take you down? Not that it wouldn't hurt. Obviously that would hurt. Okay, so like, what do you do in that situation?
As the girl?
Yeah, as the girl.
And this is gonna sound so cliche, but this is what I've had to learn through dating lately. Don't take it personal. What you do is on you, and how he moves is on him. So if I went on a date and I slept with somebody on the first date, let's just say the first date, right? And the reason why I use first date is because here there's not even a spiritual aspect to it, right? First date, and you get it, like, it's like, where was Jesus at all in this? Like, nowhere. So Jesus was nowhere to be found on the first date. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't even we trying to abstain or anything like that. Like, it was just straight up, let's go. You know, so if I was to do that, but nowadays we don't have to have Jesus to, like, most women are saying, like, they got rules now, right? Like, they got a 30-day rule. Nowadays it's not even a 30-day rule. It's just, if I want it, I'm gonna get it. And they doing that kind of stuff out here now, to where they like, you know what? I can do just like the men do. So if I was to sleep with a guy on the first date because I really liked him, like, we talked for a little while on the phone or something, and it's very hypothetical, it's not really happening, but it could happen because I'm in the dating game right now. So I'm dating, and I've been talking to him, so now it's up to the point where I really like him and I want to meet him in person. So we go out, and wow, he's very attractive, and boom, we do something, right? He don't call the next day. Now, back in the day, that would have made me feel worthless. It would have made me feel used. I would have faulted myself and said I made a mistake, and I would have just tore myself apart in that because of what he did, though. Because he didn't call me, not because he had sex with me, but because he didn't continue with me. Was I not good enough? What happened? But if I don't take it personal, then him not calling me has nothing to do with me. What did I do? Did you have respect for yourself, young lady, to sleep with somebody on the first day? Now, if we go with a Christian aspect of it, it's more like, all right, you messed up, sis. You messed up. He ain't called you no more. That doesn't matter. Ask for forgiveness and start again. And try it again. Don't make any promises, but just try again to abstain as long as you can. Because it's nothing worse than, like, feeling like you let JC down. We run and we hide. And even that's in those comments in there. It's like, man, I promise you, when I messed up my celibacy, one girl called it a celibacy bag. And
she said, I'm back in my celibacy bag. Yeah, she said she had been celibate for a certain amount of time, and then she messed up
over a year.
I'm back in my celibacy bag.
Yeah, like, it's gotta be a bag though, right? Like, the more days you get up. But one chick said something that was so deep. She was like, the longer you wait, the harder it is to give it up. So the longer you go.
So that makes sense.
She said, said, it really don't count unless you abstain for like at least 6 months and above. Because 6 months, it's going to be a lot harder to go ahead and give that up.
You don't want to mess that up.
But I say don't keep count.
And again, know yourself, right? Know yourself. Because for some people, that's motivating, and You know, I've heard of people like I had the sister pray for me, and she didn't tell me what the sin was, but it's just that there was a sin that she was you know, that she wanted to stop doing. And so and I still got to read this doggone book. I still ain't read it. It's called Fervent by Priscilla Shirer. She actually bought me a copy of it. This is it. And it's basically about going to war spiritually, like with through your prayer life and studying the Bible. And this wonderful Christian has not read it yet, even though somebody bought it for me like a month ago. Hey. But anyway,
don't put pressure on yourself to read
it. That's why I'm making a joke of it. No, I'm good. But yeah, but anyway, she was like, you know, she said she had wrote the last date that she had did that, you know, and then she didn't do it anymore for like a year or something like that. And then she wrote that other date. And then she was like, I haven't, you know, done that anymore since then. For me, like, and I don't know that I'm going to do that, but I appreciated her sharing that with me. Because she didn't have to. And that was encouraging. That was very encouraging for me. Yeah, you know, so some people, she did that, and for her that works. I may or may not do that.
What she do?
Wrote down the date that she committed to sin.
That's what he said in the video too. Or somebody said it in there. They write down the day and everything and what happened. He said it in his video.
Well,
he said and what happened and why and all that.
Like, yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. And you know, and like you said, this is like you know, I was saying like, oh, with a title and that phrase or whatever, we like, well, he's a man. Men think differently and stuff like that. Even with that, like I heard he was like, yeah, you know, I wrote down why, you know, what led up to it, and you know, and what I would do to avoid and stuff like, and that makes sense because it's very logical. For some people, they may want to do that, and that may be helpful. For other people, like when I was listening to him saying, I'm thinking to myself, now I would think about it. I would think about, you know,
writing it down.
I'll think about what I did, how did it lead up to that. But I don't think I want to write it down. I think for me, it would cause me to be in a sense of condemnation and ruminating in it. But that's me. So again, right? Like, you know, Paul saying about, you know, the people with the, you know, different things, the disputable matters that aren't actual sin matters. Like, don't be putting your stuff on somebody else and judging them and saying they weak or they're sinful or they're carnal because they want to do this or do that. So like, he did that. Everybody, he didn't say everybody has to do that. He was just saying what he does. So like, I don't think, I ain't doing that. I'll think about it. I'll reflect on what I did. I may even talk to somebody else and be like, yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, I did blah, 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 and I shouldn't have. And that's enough. But for somebody else, maybe that will help you and do that, you know? So you got to figure out, that's between you and Jesus, what's going to work for you.
Put in the comments that you need to get around. He was like, there's some accountability there, but you really need to be able to talk to somebody and tell them everything. That way you can really have accountability. Say it out loud to someone.
Yeah, a real person that you know.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to do it, is to have somebody that's going to pray with you about it, that's going to hold you accountable, but also going to not beat you up and show you the brighter side and that there is a better way to go. Exactly. You know? Because if I tell somebody, hey, I messed up, I did this, I don't need to hear, well, you know, well, you already know the word, blah, 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 blah. I need my friend to tell me, like, well, what happened? Well, I was going to go over there. What you go over there for?
Right.
You already knew.
Right.
So what are you going to do next time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Talk me through.
Right.
But it's hard out here, man.
Loving accountability. Because that's what you need. And you don't need the other one where it's like, oh, well, girl, it don't matter. It's okay. Everybody do it. You don't want that either, right? They're just like, no big deal, don't care. And you don't want to beat you over the head either.
Right. You want a nice middle.
People make mistakes. It's okay. How you gonna? Yeah.
And I need somebody also that's going to understand what I'm going through. I don't need to talk to a virgin about how I just did that. Well, I need to talk to somebody that's struggled with.
It depends. I mean, it depends on the person.
Elaborate.
Well, because I mean, I could think of somebody in particular that now are they going to be able to relate to every single thing exactly? No. But would they be able to understand, be compassionate, and truly empathize with the struggle? They haven't given in to the struggle, but they understand the struggle because they have those feelings too. I'm thinking about somebody in particular that they are a virgin. They just turned 40. We both know them. And you could talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying it would be the exact same as somebody that has, has sex outside of marriage, but because I mean, I hear people say like, oh, well, and I understand that, generalization and stuff like that. Like, okay, well, if you married, then you can't talk to somebody who ain't married about stuff. And it's like, because they gonna tell, and they always follow it with, because they're gonna be like, well, I wouldn't put up with that. And I'm like,
no, that's not true.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I do understand what you're saying as far as like, no, that's probably not the first person you're gonna go to is the person that's the virgin, but it depends on the person, because like my best friend is married and I'm not. I mean, I've been married, but I'm not. I'm still married anyway. But don't go into detail. But I mean, I pray for them. They tell me some things. I have another friend that like, she was like, hey, I want to get your thought on something because of, I like how you think or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about some different stuff. And then I said, it's funny because people are always like, oh, you can't talk to somebody who's not married about stuff. And she said, that never even came to my mind when I was talking to you.
Right.
And I said, yeah, I think it's more about is that person spiritual? Because I mean, you can have somebody that's married and they give you some awful advice,
man, because they going through
and tell you to be talking crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that person spiritual? Do they have your best interest at heart, and do they love God? Because if they love God, they're going to give you godly advice.
That's true.
I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. I'm like, hey, you married, if they ain't beating you and they ain't running around, figure it out, sis. Well, okay, let's pray. Let's pray.
Okay, so check this out. So the whole point of this reaction video to me, not the point of the video, but the point of us talking about it, was to come to some type of resolve about what do we do as single Christians that want to abstain, right?
Yeah.
And I thought about this hard. I know what the Bible say about it. Flee. The Bible says
sexual immorality.
And Pamela Hempstead was talking about it last night on the prayer call. And she said that sex is the most intimate sin that we can commit.
It is. The Bible says that.
Because
you commit a sin against your own body.
Your own body, because God is in you. That's so raw and hurtful to hear that, because it's like, so did I just rape God? Like, what?
Wow. Violated. Man, because the Holy Spirit, because it says the Holy Spirit lives within us, right? It says we are the temple. We always talking about being a temple when you get ready to work out.
Right.
But when we're horny, we ain't thinking about, oh, I'm God.
So, with that being said, what can you do, right? But you also, there's not much for us, like out here in the world, it's so normalized to sleep around or to, well, we've been talking for 3 months and I like him, so we're going to have sex for about a year together and then move in together and then possibly get married down the line. That's the thing now, right? You're going to live together first and all this stuff,
Yeah.
But because I'm struggling, okay? I'm just going to be transparent here. I'm struggling. I haven't had sex in a bit, and trying to be out on the dating scene is hard because everybody ain't where you at spiritually. And it's even, I feel like it's even harder trying to find a man that's on that spiritually, right?
Man.
So, because they see a hole, they ready, hey, what's up? And So, and if you don't give it to them, they're not going to try to even get to know you, right? So,
next,
what I was thinking was, well, I might as well just give up my dating. Like, I don't want to date because it's hard. It's like,
man.
I don't want to be tempted, and I don't want to have to keep hearing that I'm not good enough. Because there's so many women out there that's going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So why wait on me? And then they'll throw up the fact
I had means one that ain't what they want. They don't want a truly godly woman then.
No, they don't. And most men want a lukewarm woman. They want a lukewarm woman. Yeah, I want you to believe in the Lord, but I want you to compromise on that, and we can do what we want to do until.
Woo! And so, and that dude, he actually, I looked when I went on his Instagram, he actually had a video that said women want a lukewarm man.
I saw that, but I ain't get to it because I was like, he lying. Because I was like, he lying.
No, he's not.
He's not lying. No, he's not lying. But that's how I felt at first. Like, I was like, what? Because
I don't want that. That's not what I want.
I want somebody that's gonna hold me accountable, just like I'm gonna hold them accountable. So if I get a little too touchy feely, gonna be like, hey, calm down. Okay. I'm gonna be a little insulted, but I'm gonna be like, okay. And then if he get too touchy feely, I'm gonna be like, hey, what we supposed to do? You want to pray? You know what I'm saying? So there's that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I have run into so many that have said that's not where I'm at. And then they'll even throw up the fact that you got 3 kids. What you talking about abstaining? Like, you can't change.
Woo!
Like, you can't.
Oh man, don't get me
started. Okay, so we got to cut this off. That is the end of part 2 of Keep It In Your Pants. And make sure that you check out part 3. It is coming soon. But in the meantime, join us this Saturday, September 21st, 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time for the Divine Discussions prayer call. This will be the last one of 2024. And we will be talking about dealing with grief and loss as a Christian. And we might have a second one in the afternoon with a special guest. So make sure that you are on the text list, 682-738-5393. Text the word join to 682-738-5393. Text the word join so that you can get notifications, reminders of the live streams, the podcast, and the prayer call. You can also, of course, follow us on Facebook or Instagram at 99 Ways to Win. And Falon is Falon Sales, Falon Sales. And I am Michelle Wright. All right, until next time, remember the ultimate success is a life devoted to Jesus Christ. So keep seeking your success.